Hello all today. We're just going to give everybody a couple more minutes to get into the webinar, and then we shall start. Thank you. Okay, good day. Today we will be doing Alfatron training. Our product line today is speakers and amplifiers, and we're going to just jump right in to the amplifiers, which is our first little section for today. So the first amplifier that we have is what we call an ALF PA2B. Sorry for that. I think I've paused it still. Oh, there we go. Okay, so Alfatron PA2B. It's a mini amplifier class D with a mic mixer built in. It's a 2x20 watts at 4 ohm default output. It's got some volume, bass, and treble adjustments on the unit itself on the top via buttons. And you can also do it via remote control as well. You'll see that it's 1x40 watts at 8 ohms in bridged mode. And it's also got a mono output as well. It's got a 24 volt power supply. And it supports 3 levels of mic with condenser mic, dynamic mic, and also line with a switch for the 48 volts phantom power for your microphones that's needed. It also has RS-232 control or button control physically on the box itself, and there's an IR remote control, which is an optional extra. Okay, we're going to move on to the next slide. We have an Alfatron ALF PA100V. So this is our 100 volt or 70 volt line amplifier. It's also a mini amplifier class D, also with a mic mixer involved. It's a 40 watts at 100 volt line or 40 watts at 70 volt line with volume, bass, and treble adjustable separately, as you can see on the buttons in the front of the amplifier. 3 audio inputs, 1 digital, 2 analog, and it's got a 24-volt power supply. Mic supports again 3 levels with condenser mic, dynamic, and then line level with a 48 volts phantom power switch. Again, you can see that it is RS-232 controlled or button controlled, and you can have an IR remote control separately or optional. Next guy in the list. So here we have an ALF PA100W. Again, Class D amplifier, complete with EQ adjustments, so your bass treble, and intuitive work status display, making it ideal addition to a classroom or a conference room application. It's got control over RS-232, which is the added feature on this is IP control and IR control. The remote is supplied in the box. This is not an optional extra. It's a 2x50 watt at 8 ohms or 1x100 watt at 4 ohms. What I can tell you here, a little bit extra on the unit, is that there's a loop out. If you can see next to the speaker terminals, the loop out will allow you then to run 2 amplifiers. Whatever the first amplifier is playing, the second one will be able to play, and you can have a little bit more speakers installed into the system. Next slide. So here we have what we call the ALF 60W UB and the 120W UB. You'll see here from the picture, it is a mixer amplifier. This is the 120 watt version, but if you look at the units, they are identical. The one is just 60 watts and the other one is 120 watts. It's a compact public address system. The speaker outputs are 100 volt or 70 volt line, and on the low impedance side, 4 to 16 ohms rated. Output power is again 60 or 120 watts. It also has built-in MP3 player, FM radio, and Bluetooth with a remote control. The MP3 player side is a USB option as well. That's for your MP3 songs. 2 mic inputs, 1 EMC or emergency output, 2 line inputs, and 1 line output. You'll notice that there's a microphone input in the front of the unit on a 6.3 jack, and then there's a mic/line input on the back of the amplifier, which is an XLR, and you'll see there's a little switch which you can allow you to switch between the line in or the second line in or the microphone, and then also phantom power. This also has a gain on the microphone or the line side, which is nice to have sometimes because you have to maybe sometimes gain the mic or the line level that you're putting in. Built-in Class D amplifier module and switching power with 100 volt or 70 volt transformer technology inside. Individual volume control for mic 1 and 2, line 1 and 2, and then MP3 or FM and Bluetooth. It's also got some bass and treble control with a master volume control. Please just take into consideration that if you are playing an auxiliary input and you would change it through to Bluetooth or USB in terms of the media player side, it will mix together because that's the whole point of the amplifier, to be a mixing amplifier. So if you would like FM or Bluetooth or USB to be the sole audio source, you would then just turn down manually the auxiliary or the microphone inputs on the front of the box. It supports both AC at 100 or 110 volts and then 240 volts as well. It's got a priority EMC / mic at the back of the unit on the bottom right. The LED indicators for power, clipping mode, protect mode, and signal. We have short circuit, clip, overload, and high temperature protection built into the units as well. And this is ideal for small venues such as classrooms, retail stores, coffee shops, and so forth. Okay, next slide. So we'll be moving on to speakers now. So we have a few models of speakers in our range. So the first range is what we call the ALFW41 speakers. These are a 4-inch two-way speaker. You can notice that they are both 100 volt or 70 volt and low impedance at the same time. It's just a power tap that you would do on the speakers. You can see the power taps 20 watts, 10 watts, 5, 2.5. And then on the 8 ohms is power handling of 20 watts. There's a bit of sensitivity and frequency response there. If you guys need any more information, you can just give us a shout and we can just give you a lot more information, or you can go to our website. There's a lot more info on the website as well. You get a little bit of dimensions for the units as well. And what we can tell you is these are not waterproof speakers. These are under roof, sort of closed off patio wall speakers. They cannot get direct water onto them. And yeah, so they, again, are not fully waterproof. We have a ALF 51, which is the 5-inch speaker. These are also 100 volt line as well as low impedance. 30 watts, 15, 7.5, and 3.75. And then power handling at 30 watts. You can see there's some sensitivity and frequency responses there as well. And again, these are not 100% waterproof. They are, I would say, semi-splash proof. But again, if you guys need any more information, just let us know. All right, next slide. So here we have a few different models in our range, from a small 5-inch speaker right up to the 8-inch speaker. You'll see that, and you'll notice here that these are only standard 100 volt or 70 volt line speakers. These do not have low impedance, so they do not do the switch between the two. Power taps on the 5-inch is 3 watts or 6 watts, 2 options. You can see with a little bit of power handling and whatever the case is, and the sensitivity. That's on a 513. Then we have a 603, either white or black. You'll notice there W or B. This is a 6-inch. Again, same, very similar power taps, a 3 watt or a 6 watt power tap. Then we have what we call a 613, also white or black. This is an 8-inch speaker, and your power taps here are 5 watts or 10 watts respectively. The bottom unit is what we would call an ALF-C WS-P5, very big word there. This is a 5 watt white sound speaker. So we also have the back boxes that go with it. If you guys just refer back to your representative or your price list, you will see that we have back boxes that would go hand in hand with these speakers, so that you can install them inside the ceilings to do white noise or white sound in the office space or whichever space you would like to do so. Next slide. So here we have second to top in terms of our in-ceiling speakers. We have an ALF-C 406 and a 606. The 406 is a 4-inch. Again, going back to 100 volt, 70 volt, and low impedance on 8 ohms. So 20, 10, 5, 2.5 in terms of the power taps, and power handling on 8 ohms is 20 watts. These have plastic back cans, and you'll notice that it's a standard speaker grill on these units as well. The ALF 606 is a 6-inch version. And again, also power tappings 30, 15, 7.5, and 8 ohms. Power handling on 8 ohms is 30 watts. And again, the same same feature, the standard speaker grill. Your power tapping settings dial is in the front of the unit. So you'll notice where the speaker is underneath the grill, there will be a power tap setting over there so that you can change settings as you go along. Great. Next slide. So here we have the 406 ceiling speakers. Sorry, that's a little bit of an error over there. It's supposed to be a 457, and then the bottom one is supposed to be a 657. I do apologize for that little bit of an error. We have a 4-inch, also power tap settings, 20, 10, 5, and 2.5, and then on 8 ohms it's a 40-watt speaker. The 657 is a 6-inch with power tappings of 30, 15, 7.5, and 3.75, and on 8 ohms it's a 75-watt speaker. These, you will notice, they have a slightly different backhand to the previous model, and then also the nicer feature of this is that they both have magnetic grills. And again, the same feature with the flat screwdriver. You would just adjust your power settings on the speaker itself for whichever power handling or power setting that you would like it. Next slide. We have Alfatron volume controls. These are 100 volt or 70 volt line volume controls. You'll see they respectively different 30, 60, and 120 watts line step volume controls. We also do have a low impedance version, which is in the 3x3 type box, which is a 30 watt low impedance or 30 watt 8 ohms volume control as well. You'll notice in the picture that that is how the volume control comes when you purchase it. So it has a back box already with a cover plate, and you can then surface mount this, or you can embed it into a wall or a drywall or anything to that effect. Cool. Next slide. So here we have a new section, which is new audio de-embedders and converters. We have a new piece of equipment that we will show you today. The first piece is what we call a CHKA2. If anybody knows Alfatron, you know this product. We've had it for quite a while. It used to be a CHA2, but now we have the K version, which is for 4K, 444 HDR, with all the latest HDMI and HDCP specs, and HDMI input, as you'll see on the picture, and then an HDMI output with one coax audio output, stereo RCA, and balanced stereo Phoenix connector. This is a very, very nice piece of equipment. It allows you to strip off the stereo audio from the unit that you can put into then a stereo amplifier. So if you have maybe a stereo amplifier in the roof in a boardroom, you can take the input that's going straight into the projector. You can filter it through this unit, and you can de-embed the stereo audio into the stereo amplifier inside the roof if necessary, or you can just run it right back to the rack and have stereo audio in the room. Right. Then we have the new unit, which I think is quite relevant at this stage, especially for the newer monitors and newer audio or video sources that we have at the moment. It's an ALF CV DAC. So this guy is a digital audio converter and is designed to convert coax or Toslink digital audio inputs to an analog left and right or stereo or 3.5 millimeter audio output. So this is the front side of the unit. There is a back side you can see on the picture where it shows the right and left out, and then a little headphone jack on the right hand side. So the application for this is quite simple. All the new monitors or TVs that would be purchased these days all have a digital output, so optical cable. They don't come with stereo outputs anymore. This will help you to get that audio or that stereo audio back to your audio rack. Then it will allow you to then de-embed, well, sorry, not de-embed, but strip down to left and right audio to your standard stereo amplifiers. Simultaneously, the converter provides coax SPDIF output for digital audio extension as well. Great. So that is the end. If you guys have any questions, we will just check quickly and see if there's any questions. If there's no questions, you guys are more than welcome to get hold of us. You have all the details of your representatives that deal with you from Alpha Technologies, and you can go to our website, alfatronelectronics.co.za or alfatronelectronics.com, and you can see everything that we've spoke about today in more depth. And if you need any questions answered, you're more than welcome to give us a shout. Okay, seems like there's no questions for today. So we thank you for your time and have a nice day. Cheerio.